Hello everyone, good morning. My name is Richa Sharma and I'm the moderator of this session. And on the behalf of the Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you to the 6th International Conference on Information and Communication Technology for Intelligent System. And further, as you all are well aware, we are facing a new normal situation. So in that case, all our conference has been shifted to a hybrid modes, and we hope you will enjoy the the knowledgeful and interactive session. And just before we get started, there's a special note for the presenter. You will be given 10 minutes for presentation, which means 7 to 8 minutes for presentation and 2 minutes for question answer. And after 8 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder to conclude your presentation. And just before we get started, I would like to introduce our chair of this session, Dr. Navneet Sharma. Dr. Navneet Sharma, he is an associate professor in Department of Computer Science and ICTIS, University, Jaipur. Department of Computer Science and ICTIS, University of Jaipur, 17 years of teaching experience of UG and PG classes, associate with various research association and universities and consultancies services, associate with more than 15 university of various academic with word including PhD, thesis, etc. His research work on e-commerce, cloud computing, network security, more than 25 research paper published in various journals, and more than 30 conference attend all over the India. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Richa ma'am.
And now I would like to start with our first papers. I would like to call our first presenter to present his paper on a review on societal application of data analytics. Dear presenter.
Yes, ma'am.
You may please start your presentation.
Okay, ma'am. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Now you can get started.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. I, Sinkan Naik, going to present my paper on a review on societal application of data analytics.
Sorry to interrupt, your presentation is not visible. There is a Zoom screen on your system. And please check.
Can you guide me how to share my PPT?
Yes, there is this green button, screen share. You can select over there.
Yeah, I select that, and there is a window pop-up. There I can't get.
First, you can open your presentation in a different window. Then after, you can share option and you can select your presentation.
Is it visible now?
Yes, it is visible. Please start.
So good morning everyone. I, Sinkan Naik, going to present my paper on a review on societal application of data analytics. These are the keynotes of my presentation. First of all, let's understand what is data and data analytics. Data refers to a piece of information that is collected and organized in such a way that it generates a meaningful piece of knowledge that can be used as per requirement. To find out the information which it incorporates in knowledge discovery is required. By using knowledge discovery, we can find out the information that are logical, novel, potentially useful and understandable, and draw conclusion about it. Analysis of data can be defined as the process of scrutinizing, processing, transforming, and visualizing the data so that we can identify the pattern and knowledge inside it. The importance of data analytics is to extract the exact insight from the data, and understand and analyze the problem faced by different organizations and businesses. To extract the actual context of the data, it is required to organize, interpret, and encapsulate it. There are various applications of data analytics includes in various domains like healthcare, academics, product recommendation, digital marketing, sports, governance, etc. And by using various tools and technique, we can extract the actual context of the data, and it also helps to discover newer challenges. Then data to data product. Data confers to the fact which are untreated, unpolished, undisclosed, which are congregate to measure, analyze, and visualize so that it can be represented for final processing. Information is the processed data that had some sense or meaning. When this information size increases, there is a requirement for database management to store, process, and analyze this data. Data mining comes into the picture when there is a requirement for smart decision making and better prediction. Data analysis being a powerful tool which incorporates in decision making and deals with various kinds of data, that is structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. The result what we get after analysis of data is called data product. On the basis of the requirement of end product, we manipulate and scrutinize the data so that the end user can be benefited. There are various algorithms of data analytics which are mainly basically of statistical analysis type, and they are the basis of data analytic algorithms. To automate these algorithms, we need to take the help of data analytic tool because we can't perform analysis on data directly. Data analytic algorithms are broadly classified into 3 different categories, that is supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcement learning. Classification and regression are comes under supervised learning. Clustering, association, and dimensionality reduction comes under unsupervised learning techniques. Speech recognition, fraud detection, detection of image spamming, disease diagnosis, classification of images are done by classification, evaluate business trends, sale prediction, assessment of risk can be done through regression, recommendation system, pattern recognition, market research, customer segmentation can be done through clustering, predict customer behavior, relationship among data objects can be done through association, face recognition, text mining, data visualization can be done through dimensionality reduction, inventory management, budget planning, business strategy, manufacturing and finance sector uses, reinforcement learning. To automate these algorithms into an integrated development environment, data analytical tools are used. There are various kinds of data analytical tool, but we have listed some of them. The first one is Tableau Public, which is simple but have security issue. OpenRefine is used for data cleaning and fetching of data from the website, but not suitable for big data. NIME is used to analyze the data easily, but have lower visualization. RapidMiner is used for data visualization, processing, and modeling, but need hardware resources. Node Excel is free and open source, but GUI is not good. R is free and open source, but poor security and load speed.
Dear presenter, your slide is not moving. Can you please check?
Yes, now it's moving. So just come on to the your original contribution towards this analysis.
Okay, sir. There are various applications of data analytics belongs to various domains, but in this paper we have mentioned some of the real-time applications, but are not limited to this. So we have classified the applications of data analytics into 3 different categories, that is societal, governmental, and agriculture and environmental application. Sanitation and nutrition. smart healthcare and mental healthcare, anti-trafficking, women's and child development, unemployment and employment guarantee comes under societal application. E-governance, smart city and rural development comes under governmental application. Agriculture, uh, agriculture, marketing, water management, precision agriculture and smart farming related to agriculture and environmental application. These are the literature survey related to agriculture and environmental application. In the first paper, they analyze the significance of using AI, big data, and IoT in smart agriculture. In the second paper, they promote the construction of smart agriculture from the aspect of agricultural economic management by applying big data and taking the egg price of a city as a research object. In the third paper, they design a user-friendly website which helps the farmer and agriculture expert. In the fourth paper, they propose a framework which helps the policymaker and farmer to achieve more accurate and evidence-based decision making. In the next paper, they propose a framework for cyber physical agricultural system which is an intelligent integration of CPS, IoT, cloud computing, and big data with agricultural system. In the next paper, they describe the role of machine learning algorithms in paddy rice, smart agriculture, and presents a framework for the same. And in the last paper, they propose a framework which comprises of market intelligence, food supply chain, and one-stop mobile application.
Madam Nayak, sorry to interrupt you. Will you conclude all these remarks in a single related to these papers?
Yes, sir.
And what is your conclusion towards these review? Can you conclude your remarks within 1 or 2 sentences
Sir,
after reviewing these papers?
Yes, sir. From the literature survey, we can say that using data analytics technique in societal application, it is possible to achieve sustainable lifestyle that leads to growth of the country. And the number of reported societal application are infrequent, although it is extremely crucial because of lack of availability of data and security involved with the data belongs to societal and governmental application. And in some cases, data related to various societal applications are available but are not relevant to particular research outcome, due to which advancement in societal application and application of data analytics in this domain become more challenging. Also, there are numerous societal applications where data analytics can be applied, but we need to apply data analytic algorithms in this societal application for societal development, so that it will lead for growth of the country as well as growth in every way.
As per of your best knowledge, which tool is good for heterogeneous data, for data analysis?
Sir, different tool is used for different research outcomes. On the basis of research outcomes, and we can choose the tool.
In the initial slides, you have mentioned that the variety of data, and according to the data, we can choose different tools. So as per your research and the review, after reviewing, which tool is better for heterogeneous data?
Sir, we can say that R, Python, we can see.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Any other query or any other question from the other audience? Okay, you may close your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Then we can call our next presenter, Sir Radha Kadam, to present her paper on survey on driver fatigue detection using sensor, big data analytics, and machine learning techniques.
Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, you are audible. Please start your presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Radha Kadam, and I'm from Pimpri College of Engineering, Pune. So these are authors, my colleagues, who are. So our topic is so survey on the main goal is survey on driver fatigue detection using sensor big data analysis, machine learning techniques. So my, is my slide visible? Hello.
Yes, your slide is visible.
Okay. Minute. Huh. So,
Yes, it is perfect now.
sorry, sir.
You can continue. It's
Okay.
visible now. You can continue.
Yeah, okay. So, next few minutes, we are going to say introduction, the sensors which used to detect the driver fatigueness, the data analysis, machine learning algorithm, and lastly, the conclusion. So, let's start with the introduction. Uh, So fatigue detection in the today era become an important asset as a death rate of India. It has a peak reason and a road accident. It is very important to identify driver drowsiness in early stage for minimizing the damage and preventing accidents. So driver can be detected considering parameters like facial expression, human psychological signals, vehicular parameters. It is possible to detect the driver fatigue with the development of IoT machine learning and big data analysis. So we study different processes involved in the fatigue detection, which includes heartbeat sensors, temperature sensors, IBIC sensor, or other sensors. And as the data collected from sensor is very used, and so it can be termed as a big data. For processing this big data, we use machine learning techniques. So my friend Anjali will explain the sensors which use the driver fatigue detection.
Hello everyone. My name is Anjali Kambe, and I'm going to explain the sensors that will be used for the driver fatigue detection. So these are the types of the sensor. So first one is the heart rate sensor. The heart rate sensor is basically used to find the variation in the heartbeats when the driver is sleepy, and it is a very convenient solution. And we can quickly check the heart rate without having to put a separate chest strap. It can be worn like a wristwatch, and its accuracy is about 0.87%. The next one is the eye blink sensor, which can be used to detect the tiredness and with the help of the blinking rate, as the blinking rate increases when the person is sleepy, and it can be attached to the wearable glasses and gives a high accuracy that is up to 0.95%. Then the next one is the temperature sensor. The temperature sensor has a very fast response, and it can easily monitor the decrease in the body temperature of the driver by simply working with a diode, which can be integrated in it, and amplifying the voltage according to that. And it is very inexpensive and reliable and accurate, and it gives an accurate measurement of about 0.05% to 1.5 degrees Celsius. And next one is the alcohol sensor, which is attached to the car, and it has a high sensitivity, and it is used to detect the alcohol level of the driver, whether he is in the safe condition to drive, or else it can alert the system. And it is available at a cheaper price than the other sensors, and its accuracy is about 90%. The next three are the steering angle sensor, radar sensor, and vehicle speed sensor. These are the sensors which is integrated on the car itself. So the steering angle sensor is basically used to detect the turn or the wheel angle of the lane, and it basically helps to monitor the stability of the vehicle and gives us safety to the driver, and its accuracy is about 0.80%. The next is a radar sensor. So the radar sensor helps in the detection of the object which is coming up front of the vehicle, like any other vehicles or the other pedestrians if the driver is sleepy. And it has a very long working distance, and it is also applicable for all the weather conditions. And its accuracy is about 5 meter to 200 meters. It can give the accurate measurement. The next is a vehicle speed sensor. As the name suggests, it monitors the speed of the vehicle. If the driver is sleepy and by mistake it accelerates at a high speed, then it can alert the system. And it has a very simple structure, and it is basically situated at the wheels of the car, and also is very cost effective, but its accuracy is about 63 to 99.5%. So the next section will be explained by my friend Aditi.
Good morning, everyone. So the topic which I studied was processing of big data analytics. So next slide. So once the data is collected from the sensors, it needs to be processed. As we can say that the driver fatigue detection is the real-time application. So we need to collect the data and process it simultaneously. So one of the techniques can be big data analytics. So as we can say that the data is generated in huge amount, and it can be in any form, that it can be structured, semi-structured or unstructured. So such a data is called as big data. So what is basically big data, which cannot be processed by our traditional data processing methods? The sources can be, like we talked about earlier, like sensors, then we can say social media posts, then we can say M2M, etc. This has given rise to many data-driven applications which are based on real time and which requires real-time processing of data. So we can characterize big data as in the form of 5, that it is big in volume, it has a lot of variety, velocity, it is generated and it needs to be processed simultaneously. Veracity means it has data cannot be only huge in amount, but it has to be it has to be logical data so that the output can be obtained. So next slide, please. So basically this is the life cycle of data analytics. Once the data is stored, it is accused, then it is processed, and then it is analyzed. Then what is data acquisition? Next slide. So basically data
where you have applied the machine learning process in this
In the last, after collecting data, after pre-processing it, we have to apply the machine learning algorithm.
Either we can continue with this big data analytics processing, or we can shift to machine learning. So we have given 2 approaches in our paper. So in acquisition and pre-processing, acquisition and integration means data is transformed or cleaned or stored basically at some centralized place, because the sources of data coming is different. So data can be also incompatible. So the noise should be reduced. This comes under pre-processing of data. Data cleaning can be done. Kalma filter is used for data cleaning mostly. And data cleaning techniques, like we can use normalization, we can use mean median for replacing the missing value.
Your slides are not moving. Acha. Okay.
So next is once the data is pre-processed, we can either go to machine learning techniques, or we can use the tool like Hadoop, which has the machine learning algorithms inbuilt in it. So what is Hadoop? Hadoop is prominently a tool used for storage and distributed processing. Parallel processing takes place in Hadoop. So basically there are 2 components of Hadoop. That is, one is HDFS and second is the MapReduce. HDFS is used for storing several copies of the data, and MapReduce is used for all the processing part. Next slide, please. So basically MapReduce has 2 functions. or operation, you can see that is map and reduce. The whole method is based on divide and conquer. Means the data is divided on based on some criteria, and then it is conquered, and then it is brought together using some classifier or using some technique. So first we can say that the data is divided into small groups, then we convert it into key value pair, and then they are classified using some algorithms, classification algorithm like Bayes, etc. So this is the process, and then once the data is classified, that it is again stored in HDFS, and then we can analyze it or visualize the data according to our need. So in real-time data, the data is continuously inputted and needs to be processed. So the other frames which we can use along with Hadoop is Spark. Nowadays, Spark is
Sorry to interrupt, dear presenter. Kindly please conclude your presentation.
yes, yes.
Okay.
So the next, once the processing by machine learning is discussed by Radha.
So with the help of SVM and random forest, we can process the data. Because with the help of SVM, SVM can handle multiple inputs. So with the help of this, here in this model we can use SVM. And for random forest, it gives high accuracy and speed processing. So with the help of SVM and random data, we can increase their accuracy and other things. So the conclusion is here we have to just increase our accuracy to detect the driver fatigueness and to avoid fatal accidents. The data sensors too will be real-time data. We also study big data analysis and machine learning algorithms that are applied on the data generation from sensors to process and analyze it. So thank you.
Okay, on which slide you have applied the machine learning process for this big data analysis? Okay.
So both have very much better accuracy. SVM had 90% accuracy and random forest have 93.3% accuracy. But many of the places SVM is used for this model.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Now we can call our next presenter.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Presenter.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. Let me share my screens. Is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
A very warm good afternoon to all. First of all, I would like to thank all the respected authority for presenting my work over here. So my title of the paper is Designing of Quality Aware Machine Learning Model for High Trust Communications in Wireless Networks. ID number is 40. Myself, I'm Shahin Sheikh, research scholar at the Pune University. In my presentation, I would be going through introduction, the literature survey, what I have done, my research problem statement and objectives, the methodology I have used with the results and discussion, and I will conclude with the conclusion and future scope. So for designing a trust-based path for a wireless or mobile network is always a trade-off between quality and overheads, or rather the control overheads that are required for communication. So there are two approaches. One is direct trust evaluation, which considers node-to-node distance energy levels, while in case of indirect communication, we are using the recommendations of the node for their fair behaviors. So combination of direct and indirect method will cumulatively increase the accuracy of trusted nodes for routing. So these are the quality of services parameters which I have found out for this after doing the survey is the position of node in the network, node ka energy level, and how the packets are, whether the packets have been communicated successfully by each node, and their cluster positions for the nodes, etc. So we have done the experiment with the direct and indirect trust values for you, and this will also has increased my accuracy for communication. For as far as the direct communication or direct trust, it is evaluated for the data parameter, and for indirect method, we have used communication parameter, that is packet forwarding ratio, and that has been considered as a weighted mass function in Tensor Schaeffer function that we'll be showing next. So this is my literature survey. The first paper I have studied is a joint trust and approach for the trust-aware routing in wireless sensor network by Paul Rodriguez. My remark, they have used the chicken dragonfly optimization for cluster head selection, and the system works best against the impersonation identity disclosure and reputation attacks with less delay and less communication overhead. The next paper is Tanimoto support vector regressive linear program boost. It is based on node trust evaluation for secure communication. This is for mainly designed for the mobile ad hoc network. And they have seen the improved packet delivery ratio at the cost of energy and end-to-end delay. The next paper I have studied is the secure trust-aware routing scheme in wireless sensor network. And what I have seen is they have given an improved packet delivery ratio and better end-to-end delay. And the energy consumption also has been improved to a significant level. The next paper, paper number 5, is enhanced approach using trust-based decision-making for secured wireless streaming video sensor network. When we talk about the video sensor network, we usually talk about the high bit data or the throughput requirement is very high over here. So they have designed the algorithm which is robust against the sinkhole and black hole attacks, which are prominently visible on the network there. The next one is improving quality of service and efficiency multi-hop relay-based communication framework against the attacker in mobile ad hoc network. They have seen a good quality of service that is up to 30% improvement with the current trending methods. The next is a trust management based secure routing scheme in industrial wireless sensor network. They have used the Gaussian distribution based comprehensive trust management, and as a result, they found good network load balance, and the survivability of network is also good. In the next paper, we have seen the title is an availability of predictive trust factor based on semi-Markov mechanisms for effective cluster head selection in wireless sensor network. That is basically while doing the literature survey, my main focus was how they have selected the clusters for routing mechanism. So whatever literature survey I have done is related to the cluster head selection method. So in the paper number 11, we have seen the improved network lifetime with 30% reduction in energy as compared to other cluster head selection methods. And the last paper is a secure energy aware scheme based on well optimization in clustered wireless sensor network. They have also observed a battery energy efficiency as compared to the leech protocol, which is a default protocol in usually network simulation software. And the next is the K-mean algorithm testing for wireless sensor network. Here the K-mean method basically focuses on finding the centroid of any cluster for locating the cluster head. This will more efficiently increase the energy efficiency as compared to the low energy adaptive cluster hierarchy protocol. So my problem statement for research is how to evaluate a communication trust, that is called the direct and indirect basically, then how to evaluate data, and how to provide the access control with less latency. Reducing delay is my main focus, that is end-to-end delay. With the objective, I have to design a framework for evaluation of communication trust, which is based on packet forwarding ratio. Then next is a data trust using statistical analysis. And I have to propose a trust-aware shortest legitimate path routing using trust values for wireless sensor network, and to verify the performance for the various quality of service parameters like packet delivery and energy consumption. This is my proposed model. In every iteration for the communication, we are inputting the source and destination node IDs for communication initiation, and clustering and cluster head selection mechanism is initiated by source, and it is aligned with the destination aware. That means we enter the source ID as well as we enter the destination ID for each communication, and the route is formed on the basis of the optimum distance, direction of the destination cluster, and the energy level in the inter-cluster communications. So for our algorithm also supports the node failures and re-establishment for improving the packet delivery ratio here. And the next we have seen Damster-Schaffer phase a based trust establishment for improving the routing performance. As I have already earlier mentioned that we are using the indirect method for trust calculation also for calculating the communication trust. That means here I'm using the packet forwarding ratio. And this process will be continuously iterated for one communication. When next communication starts, the same process will be followed. So these are the, as per the block diagram, whatever I have told, these are written in the stepwise as a methodology over here. So we are calculating the communication trust and data trust. We are inputting source and destination IDs for communication, and our destination aware and source initiated dynamic clustering with one hop neighboring evaluation process. Here I have contributed as a machine learning algorithm. I have chose the fitness function for my algorithm, which will consider the distance and energy level for finding the shortest possible path. The tensor Shaffer theory is basically used for increasing the trust calculation accuracy, and entire network will be more it will be we are having that network with minimum end-to-end delay, since I'm considering the distance as a parameter and energy of node as a parameter. So this is the protocol or method rather, which we have used as for calculation of the distance between the two adjacent clusters. The distance here, small d, indicates the distance between the two adjacent clusters, and this distance is less considered as a less as compared to the one hop neighbor between the two nodes. So here xi and yi are the locations of the nodes of the interclusters. So all the clusters are formed with the distance less than the one hop distance as compared to the adjacent nodes in the clusters. And this process will repeat till the packet is delivered from source to destination. So now the main parameter of the fitness function which we are using for route calculation, here we are using the machine learning algorithm. In this case, we are considering the x and y positions of intercluster nodes, and this function, that is FDE, D stands for distance and E stands for energy of the node. The corresponding distance it is inversely proportional to the energy, and it is inversely proportional to the packet forwarding ratio. So result and discussions may. Simulation environment, I have considered the channel type is wireless channel. Network interface is a wireless physical. Antenna is omnidirectional. The environment we have created is a 3 to 200 nodes successfully. And the routing protocol is basically the network simulation ad hoc distance vector routing. And the area for which we have considered is 300 meter by 300 meter with the packet size of 1000 bytes per packet, and each packet interval between, that means the time gap between the two packets is 0.01 seconds per packet. So this is how I have found out the result. I have compared my results, proposed method result, with the ad hoc distance vector routing and the agent-based trust model for sensor network. That is the second method. And I have found a significant improvement in the delay, end-to-end delay. We have shown graphically here. The green line graph is showing the time requirement for packet delivery.
Sorry to interrupt you. Last 1 minute.
Yes, sir. The next is the energy performance. As energy is very important parameter for having a network lifetime, it calculates the network lifetime. So focusing on energy optimization is very important. So as compared to the AODV and ATCN method, our proposed model has shown a significant reduction in consumption of energy. And ultimately we can say that we have improved the network lifetime. The next is the throughput performance. It is basically the speed with which the data is communicated, and the overall speed we see there here. Our speed has been improved almost significantly very high as compared to AODV and ATCN. That is paper number 6 in my work. So conclusion and future scope. So since we have,
which tool you have used?
Sir, I have used
this?
the network simulation tools for my, yes sir.
And why you are choosing this NS2 only?
Because it is catering all my requirements. There are other also tools are available here, like GNS3, Cisco Packet Tracer, etc. But I have chosen this for the sake of simplicity, and it is as long as it is promoting and facilitating me for my objectives. So this tool I found it sufficient for my work. So whatever can I go for this conclusion? Due to use of this energy and distance packet forwarding ratio, the trust establishment process is optimated to a good extent, and this optimization allows a network to select the proper path while performing the node-to-node communication. And the throughput increase also has been observed since we have focused on the nodes which are high in energy and have higher bandwidth. So the overall communication will optimize the bandwidth also. In future, we are using the better, now here we have used the deep learning method. We can also go for the Q machine learning method or enforced machine learning method. Whatever method I have used is a unsupervised model machine learning model is there. In future, we can go for some other machine learning models. And also we are thinking to integrate this routing mechanism with the blockchain to enhance the security in terms of distributed trust. So these are my references, sir. Thank you.
Just come on to the references. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, you may close the presentation now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shine, for the presentation. Now,
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to announce the next presenter, Meghna Kumar.
Hello, hi, sir. Let me share my screen. Screen is visible?
Yes, it is. You can just make it full screen and go ahead.
Yeah, okay. The agenda is first I will go through an introduction, and my topic is COVID-19 prediction severity prediction based on the patient's record. And the introduction is like introduction, literature survey, and whatever I have done, I have put a screenshot on that, and the conclusion. And nowadays the COVID-19 has is very widely spread, so it is outbreak of the pandemic. So here I have here the processing of healthcare and the using machine learning algorithms in the healthcare systems to identify which person is affected from the COVID-19. So it have done literature survey, and the first paper it is based like COVID-19 outbreak prediction with the machine learning. Here in this paper they have used multi-layer perceptron and adaptive neuroinference. So in this paper the main limitation is they have high level uncertainty and crucial, there is a crucial of data, and have and in this epidemical model they have shown the less low accuracy for long-term prediction, and the global model with the generalization ability, it is not feasible. So in the second paper for the forecasting using a supervised machine learning, so here they have used linear regression, lasso, and support vector machine, and the exponential smoothing. And linear regression and lasso, it performs well for forecasting for some extent of the prediction, death rate, and the confirmed cases. But in SVM, they produce poor results. So it is a great drawback of this. And in the third paper, prediction model and the risk scores of ICU admission and mortality in COVID-19. Here they have used logistic regression, and here the drawback of this thing is predictor instead using the conjunction of the support clinical decision admit to a patient to the ICU. Here repositories study for only the single institution. They have not include the many institutions. So it so the collaborate with other institution to the test model to improve in, journalizability. And the fourth paper, machine learning prediction for COVID-19 pandemic in India. So here auto-regressive integrated moving average model, 3 techniques were used, support vector regression, neural network, and linear regression. Here no competence of postulated method could as investigated. In the third paper, modeling of the prediction of COVID-19 cases with a deep assessment methodology and a fractional calculus. Two methods were used: deep assessment methodology, long short-term memory, and in this Gaussian function in the reality does not follow a perfect Gaussian for every country. So model relies on the data without considering any prevention measures.
Please move on to your contribution.
Yeah, here my contribution is like I have main objective is here I have used random forest algorithm, KNN, linear regression, and decision tree and the support vector machine. So main here to predict the severity on the based on the symptoms with a resemble. So here I have analyzed and compared with a algorithm to achieve the accuracy level. So here I have done prediction on the all algorithms. And finding the values using different algorithm like KNN prediction of COVID severity is successfully analyzed using a Python language, and implementations are done efficiently and accurate results were fetched. And when we see this graph, it can be supported like support vector classifier algorithm delivers the prediction results accurately based on the given data sets, and the conditions like mild severity, high severity in the COVID-19 patients were analyzed, and support vector machine blends the reliable results with the recall and precision score of 0.9866 and gives the accuracy score of 9.8. And the main limit next future enhancement is like this model can be deployed with the real-time data and used by the doctor to satisfy the patient's data at the initial stage to minimize the death rate, and also the model can be classified and utilized according for the distinct disease to risk prediction, and also research scholars can also adopt SVC without any increase for the further prediction of different data models. These are the references I have gone through. Hello.
Yes, thank you, Meghna. Navneet sir, any comments?
No.
No, not.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite the next presenter, Jeviani M.
Good afternoon to all. My name is.
Go ahead.
Hello, I'm audible, sir.
Yeah, you are audible. Go ahead.
Good afternoon to all. My name is M. Jayavani, Research Scholar, Department of Computer Application, Kalasalingam Academy of Research and Education. Authors, myself and my guide, Dr. Karapasamy. On behalf of that, I'm presenting. My title is EEG in optic nerve disorder based on FSVM using kernel membership function. Contents: introduction, objective, literature survey, methodology, conclusion. Introduction: Janssen autistic and an optic nerve disorder. Symptoms are fever, dry cough, headache, jaw pain, and blood circulation in the arms. It affects people's visions. Nerves cannot be predicted correctly. So electroencephalogram is used to read the human nerves continuously to find the disorders in the nerves. In our approach is to avoid classification problem, remove noise data, increase accuracy, and reduce time consideration using fuzzy support vector machine. Objectives: the EEG data samples are collected from the machine learning database, use repository. The following steps are used to do the higher accuracy and remove noise data, reduce time consideration for the data. Phase 1, fuzzy membership function. used to predict the data according to the prediction to show the graphical method to make it understand easily. Phase 2, support vector machine used to remove the noise data and reduce further time concentration. Literature from the reference, four papers are selected for the literature survey. The main contributions are fuzzy partition was used to evaluate in each axis partition by the fuzzy logic in triangular and trapezoid membership function to adjust the for the leg movements and also identify the classes of sleep and awake stages, but not use the time consideration, and also accuracy is very low. So as mentioned above, to remove the noise data, improve the accuracy and time consideration. For the time consideration, fuzzy rule based on the classification was used, and for the fuzzy partition. And triangular and trapezoid membership function is used to show the graphical picture to easy to understand and patient's health issues, and also to reduce the process of time. Methodology in our approach, fuzzy and support vector machine methods are used to compare the performance. An object is divided into two types. There are completely within a set and not entirely within a set. There are also called union and intersect. The support vector machine handling linear, non-linear methods, solving multi-criteria problems, and also used to pairwise comparison for the membership function. And proposed our approach to analyzing, reducing time consuming for the large data set. So kernel theorem used to develop the accuracy and for the and also for the prediction. To reduce the time involved time frequency research and split up into two types. The one is time domain and the another one is frequency to adjust the simplify the signals. And types of phases, three types are the fuzzy set, support vector machine, and both together fuzzy support vector, fuzzy support vector machine. Under the fuzzy set, some phases are the fuzzy set, fuzzy inference algorithm, fuzzy classification, original membership function in future extraction. Fuzzy set. The fuzzy set is a group set. Each object represents the equality the members between 0 and 1, includes union, intersection, and extra. And fuzzy set samples data are used to apply as two CSV files. The decision table applied, union and intersect make it a crisp set. In the universe set the options adjusted in the frequency 0 to 25 by 0.1, finally applied in the fuzzy membership function with the 6 partition variables and with 6 fuzzy rules. Fuzzy inference. Fuzzy inference is the use of fuzzy logic to create a mapping from input and output. But if the input vector is multidimensional, is used the advantages for ambiguous set principles to solve the problems of linear correlation measurement methods. Fuzzy classification. Fuzzy classification is the process of assembling the component of fuzzy set. The function of the number is defined by the actual value of ambiguous proposal. The set of functions is said to take into account of expected risk reduction policy. This problem is solved by the risk minimization original membership function in future extraction. In the context ambiguous sets, the signal phenomenon occurs based on the size and membership waveform. In the fuzzy figure, fuzzy rules, fuzzy logics are used in the combined information and several parameters. The sample features applied in the fuzzy membership function. Two types of partition output and trapezoid, and another one is triangular. Both partition divided 3 parts. The first partition is a poor, good, and excellent, and another triangular divided as a given the result. 6 rules are made, and but the result is come below high and very high. Support vector machines. Support vector machine is used to sample data to fuzzy reduction. Data are applied separately. The classification or kernel theorem in polynomial value with the result applied traditional inference. Finally applied to prediction
Sorry
value.
to interrupt you, last 1 minute.
Okay, sir. And applied in the plot histogram and intensity and so the prediction value. Fuzzy support vector machine. Non-linear result can be developed with the small increased complexity of the classification, increases kernel ticks, nonlinear boundary classification done in the basic formulator SVM. and kernel membership function and kernel membership function. Future phase F detects the hyperplane separating optimal knot space of the unique information data, and the graphical data location F may not be comparative important. So proposed facility point directly. This is the result overview. Sample data, first table 1 sample data, table 2 result. 3 of the result fuzzy FSVM, FSVM. The 3 of them, the fuzzy is the highest accuracy I got the result, 91.76. It's explained in the chart. Conclusion. An article discussed soft computing tools that were considered, analyzed and compared to training dataset and test datasets. Along with this fuzzy FSVM, these three, FSVM is the accuracy, highest accuracy, 96. These are the references. Thank you, sir.
What is the sources of your data?
UCA repository, sir, from UCA repository, EEG datasets.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jivyani.
Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to go ahead with the next presentation of Mukesh Kumar.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon to all of you. Myself is Mukesh Kumar, and I am a part-time student from Punjabi University, Patiala, Punjab.
Just you can do full screen of your presentations.
Okay, yeah, sure, sir, sure. So I'm very thankful to the host, sir, who gave me the opportunity to present my paper on this
I think so. I think so. Your slide is not full screen yet.
It is full screen now, sir.
No, you can just do one thing, stop sharing and again share the same full screen. I think so.
Okay.
It will not go ahead with the next.
Is it okay now, sir?
Yes, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay. So, sir, my as the title says, my research was on data detection in on-off SDN controller using a SNOT IDS system. So SDN, we all are very much aware about the fact that today the scenario has completely changed. The networks, the traditional networks are not able to cater the needs of today's environment. So the researchers and engineers have developed a new system, software-defined networks. So SDN is one of the most popular state-of-the-art technology that is very much used in the enterprises, service providers, data centers nowadays. So why SDN was invented? The reason being the widespread benefits offered by such eminent technology. Main necessity that arose was to improve the network control by enabling enterprises and service providers to respond quickly to the changing business requirements. So therefore, new network design was proposed. SDN has been advancing rapidly. It has been decategorized into several parts. SDN is further categorized into various parts: SD-WAN, SD radio, SD access, SDRS. So as we know that everything that has benefits, it has some limitations attached with it. So SDN also has the same situation. So here are some problems, security problems that are that can be raised in SDN. First is untrusted application. So SDN controllers can have we know third-party application, open source applications which are not verified and tested. They may cause harm to the system and may create vulnerabilities in the SDN controller working. Others are open programmable APIs. Next is fake traffic flows. Fake traffic flows means a non-malicious faulty device or an attacker can launch this DDoS attack to dissipate the resources in forwarding devices or controller. Forwarding devices, as you know, are routers, switches, And forwarding device attack. This is a we can say a duplicate of fake traffic flows, but here the network traffic can be disturbed by access points or switches, which result in malicious users launching denial of service attack that can result in network failure or disruption. Vulnerabilities of communication channel, then DDoS attacks. This is the main attack that our research has revolved around. DDoS attacks are quite common these days, which are meant to halt the operations of network application and service availability. The main motive behind initiating the DDoS attacks are the or the halt the operations or obstruct the normal working of the application servers. Such attacks disable the controller from performing its tasks. Large size sync, ICMP, TCP, UDP, HTTP request. These are the various ways or attacks that the attackers use to obstruct the availability of network sources. So distributed denial of service. Distributed denial of service attacks are severe as hackers attempt to hurt the services offered by network and application. These attacks are conducted by flooding the plenty of requests, which looks authentic to the user. In this, the requests that arose from the users to the main hosting servers, they seem legitimate, but in actual, they are initiated by the attackers. So it is very difficult to distinguish between the normal traffic or the illegitimate traffic. Mostly DDoS attacks are being conducted on websites of financial sector and e-commerce companies. While stealing the money or other crucial credentials from the companies, hackers keep them busy with DDoS attacks. For initiating the attacks, hackers may use home routers, Android-based devices, IoT devices. As we know in today's world, mostly things are manufactured which have the which can be controlled over the networks. So they all devices can be used by the attackers to initiate these such a type of attacks. The attackers create bots with the malicious contents to infect the network devices. It is very common that we all are aware that malicious files are saved in the emails. So attackers can push such emails to the user accounts so that the user intentionally or unintentionally launch those services from their system, and the system start acting as a bot, but the actual user does not know that his system is acting as a bot. So here are some common DDoS attacks that can be used by attackers: thin flood, UDP flood, HTTP flood, ping or death, amplification attacks. So SYN flood, as we know that in a handshaking process, TCP sync packets are exchanged between the client and the server. But the clients, bots, we can say here, bots send the sync packets in such quantity that the server machine does not know what to do with them. It just gets overwhelmed and loses its control, and the application becomes unavailable. UDP flood. Here the attackers, as we know that UDP is a connectionless, so no connection requests are established before sending some data. So here the attackers use random ports. Even these ports are may not be available on the server, but attackers just use those ports, and when the request comes to the server starts searching for those ports, but it does not find them on it. So the server becomes unavailable. So HTTP, similar way, HTTP requests are there, ping of death, amplification attacks are there. In amplification attacks, in the as the picture shows, the attacker makes a request that generates a significant response, which includes DNS requests for large TXT records and HTTP GET request for large files like images, PDFs, and other data files. So here are common DDoS tools that can be used by attackers to launch the DDoS: LOSE, Pylorus, HPing, XRX, GoldenEye, HTTP DOS tool. In my research work, I have used hping tool. hping tool is a command line TCP IP analyzer of packet. For security purposes, HP3 is quite popular as it can quite powerful attack tool for DDoS having customization capabilities. Also, it supports protocols like TCP, UDP, ICMP, and IP protocols. So Snort, we have used Snort as an intrusion detection system here.
Sorry to interrupt you. Last 1 minute.
Okay, sir. The Snort is an open source and free to use intrusion detection system prevention system. Snort is managed by Cisco systems, but the base version is still open source, and we have used that only. So actually, Snort is used by many big players of networking like Cisco, Juniper. So it has the capability to capture the live traffic and report the any malicious activity to the users. So Snort works in a manner where it detects any traffic that is coming over a specific network interface. Tasks performed by Snort includes protocol analysis, content analysis, real-time traffic analysis that we have earlier talked. That is coming in the network, going outbound from the network. Packet logging is also performed by the Snort. So Snort can be configured in 3 modes. One is sniffer mode, packet logger mode, then network IDS mode. In sniffer mode, all the traffic is shown in the terminal. Packets are analyzed in a continuous flow of packets like in tools like Wireshark. So packet logger mode, in this mode works like a logging engine where packets are stored in the form of logs and one can check it later for various type of research purposes also. Network IDS mode, in this mode we create the rules and parameters for detection of traffic and not use it during a traffic scan and display the results. So proceeding to further, here is the main rule that we had created in the Snort. Here what we are telling is actually as SDN is popular, so attackers mostly try to control the SDN network in a wholly way. So they mainly targets the controllers, and the management of the controller can be done by authorized persons only, authorized team of that organization. So if any unwanted access to from unwanted network comes to the management port of the controller, then it is obviously a malicious traffic, and we should stop that traffic. So in the second rule, alert TCP, in this what we say is if any traffic comes from other network than 192.168.1.0, which is a management network of the organization, then that traffic should be alerted in a potential DDoS detected attack. So here is the how the command that we as I told, the hping was used by me in this research purpose. So here attack is being generated using hping3 tool. So here we can see the traffic that comes from other than the management network. Here we can see the malicious traffic is coming over, and when the traffic is coming, then this graph bar generated using the Wireshark tool. Here we can see the attack or TCP SYN traffic during the attack, and here is the availability of the controller when the attack was on. So conclusion and feature scope, here SDN is a hot research area in the network industry, and even around so many years researchers are getting new possibilities with SDN because of the customization and programmability that it brings with it. So Snort in the future can be integrated with the ML algorithm in order to take decisions on traffic pattern types and filter the illegitimate traffic accordingly. So these are my references which I had referred while my research work. So thank you all of you.
Thank you, Mukesh ji. Nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukesh Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Now I would like to invite the Vipasha Sharma, as our last author is not available, so we can just go ahead with the presentation of Vipasha Sharma. Vipasha, you are not audible actually. Yet not. I think so. You can just check your audio as you are not audible. No, sorry.
You are visible but not audible.
Your video is open, but you are not audible actually. Yet not. You can do one thing. You can just check your mic connection, that your speaker is not selected as a headphone or something. In the left bottom mute, you can just open the drop down and check your speaker, that which speaker is available. And first of all, unmute yourself actually. No, yet not. You can, if it is a laptop, you can remove the headphone.
Yes.
Yeah, now you are audible. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Sir,
And
so
share your screen.
can I start with my presentation?
Yes, please.
Yes, you may start.
Yes, sir. Sir, is my screen visible?
Yes, it is. You can make it full screen.
Yes, sir. First of all, good morning, one and all present over here. I'm Vipasha Sharma, and with my group members, Sayyid Zishan Ali, Shubhangi Gupta, Mansi Gupta, we are here to give our presentation on our research on topic an effective computing approach for damage crop analysis in Chhattisgarh. The content of the presentation contains introduction, flowchart, literature review, methodology, equipment that we have used, factors influencing the crop health, the benefits of our research, conclusion, and the references we have used. Introduction. Agriculture, which has existed since the dawn of the time, is no longer regarded as being as conventional and conservative as it once was. A farmer works under the umbrella of agriculture, producing a variety of food products for human and animal consumption. In agriculture, crop health is extremely important. Also, crops do not generally grow evenly across the field, and consequently, crop yield vary greatly from one spot in the field to another. Detecting damage and monitoring crop health requires a lot of effort. Adequate information regarding crop production is directly proportionate to the farmer's economy. In this project, we focus on farmer's economy. We address the core reason of farmer suicide by providing all the necessary information for crop production with a minimal cost, loss, and all of the necessary details in one place. Farmers that are poor suffer great loss as a result of crop destruction. So this is the flow chart, and it depicts the work that we have done in our research. First, we will start with the input image. A drone will be there, which will capture the image of the field, and that captured image will be sent to the server database of the government, and there the processing of image will be done. The processing will be done of the damaged crop analysis by forming the cluster. The damaged crop calculation will generate the report which will show the unspoiled crop and damaged crop, and hence the government and farmer will know that how much area is damaged and how much is not unspoiled. These are the literature review. We have taken the reference from this paper in our research. The methodology of our project is that in this research paper is based on taking crop image, marking the length of the field area, and identification of the damaged area.
Once the damaged area is detected, a drone will capture the image of the land and sends its images to the database for the further processing. Here, the image is processed and cluster will be formed on the damaged crop area. After this, a report will be generated which will provide details of damaged crop area and unspoiled crop area along with the graph which will show the percentage of the attributes. All these steps will be monitored by the government. So these are the steps. In step 1, capturing of image will be done by the drone. In second, capturing of image, the captured image will be sent to the database. In step 3, the processing of image based on damaged and unspoiled area by marking it. Fourth, cluster formation of damaged area will be done. And in step 5th, damage crop calculation. And in 6th, report generation of damaged and unspoiled area. What we have done in our project, in this project, we are providing the data to the government for the analysis of relief or the compensation fund that needs to be provided to the farmer. Also, it addresses the core reason of farmer suicide by providing all the necessary information for crop production with minimal loss and all of the necessary facts on a single platform. So these are the pictures of our field work. The picture shown here is of land analysis. It is the top view of the photograph in which we have measured the area. This is the side view. And this is the input image, the reference image which we have taken for our research. This image is clicked by the drone and it is the input image and it will be sent to the database server. And in database server, there will be analysis of the damaged and non-damaged area. And in damaged area, the cluster formation will be done. Also, it will show the area. It will calculate the area in square feet of the damaged area. We have used L3 points algorithm for the formation of cluster. Report generation will be done after the formation of cluster. The report generation will be done of total length. Of the total length, it will show the damaged area part and undamaged area part. Also, following are the factors that influences the crop health, that are rainfall, soil, groundwater, and e-waste. Equipment we have used Phantom 4 RTK drone for clicking the pictures. The camera used in our drone has the following specification. Benefit of our project is that it yields the protection. It decreases the rumors about the crop damage. The actual data is sent to the government. The social cause, it also helps in the social cause. First, it decreases the suicide rate of the farmer. And second is that we are using technology for our farmers. In conclusion, this project will successfully assist farmers in productive farming, crop analysis, and farmer suicide prevention. It addresses the core reason of farmer suicide by providing all the necessary information for crop production with a little loss and all of the necessary facts on a single platform. Suicide rates among farmers are inversely proportional to the amount of information available on the agricultural productivity. Every state government can be approached about this project. We have used the following references in our research. Also, few government sites. So that's all about research. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Nicely presented.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vipasha.
Thank you, sir.
We have a last presentation for this session. For the same, I would like to invite Asmita for the presentation. Asmita Nirmal.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Now you can share the screen.
Yeah, is the screen visible, sir?
Yes, it's visible. Make it full screen. Go ahead.
Is it full screen?
Not yet.
I did it actually, sir. Is it, sir? Is it in full screen?
No, yet not.
So I tried it. So shall I continue with this only, sir?
Navneet sir, you are visible? The screen is visible for you?
Yes, sir, it's visible. No issue.
Fine, you can go ahead then.
Okay, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to give a presentation on a topic investigating I-vector framework for speaker verification in wild conditions, and my paper ID is 71. These are the contents or key points of my presentation, which I'll be covering throughout the presentation. Okay. Before going to the details of my presentation, I would like to introduce my topic with this block diagram. Running a speaker verification system typically involves two phases. In the first phase, as you can see, there are two phases: enrollment phase and verification phase. In enrollment phase, the system involves two phases, and in the enrollment phase, the system extracts speaker-specific features from the voice samples to build a speaker model of an enrolling speaker. And in the second phase, a user provides a test piece utterance where the system measures the similarity score between the test and the enrolled model and decide whether the speaker has to be authenticated or he has to be rejected. So this is about the introduction of my presentation. Then these are the problems which we generally
I think
face.
so your slides are not moving. We are only able to see the first slide only.
Okay.
You can do one thing. You can just share your screen. In the other side, you can make your PPT full screen and then share the screen.
Okay, and now I stop it. Just guide me, sir, what I should do.
Now, other side, you can do one thing. Open your PPT, make it full screen.
Okay.
Now you can click on the share screen and share the same.
Now I share the screen. Now is it visible, sir?
Yes. Now you can click on the next. If possible. Next slide, please.
It's not okay, sir.
Yes, perfect. Now you can go ahead.
Okay, sir. So this is the problem overview in which we'll be working. So in the applications like access control or transaction or verification, the conditions like office noise or street noise may be encountered during the actual deployment of the system. So it makes the system robustness a major issue and therefore needs to be handled. And for that, our approach is to make the features robust so that these conditions can be tackled. So in the next hour, in that way, our problem definition is to develop a compensation technique to make the text independent speaker verification system robust against the environmental mismatch. So we are actually handling the environmental conditions. So these are the implementation details of our proposed work, in which we'll be going through data collection and proposed feature extraction methodology and experimental framework. So in the data collection, we are going to use, we have used ICTW database speaker in wild conditions. So in that, we have divided our data into three parts. So development data, enrollment data, and test data. So development data is used to train the offline models, and enrollment data is for enrolling a speaker. For that, we are using files from the enrollment core list. And after that, the test data. So where we are using the combination, like a single speaker has enrolled, and means in the audio file includes the single speaker recordings, and test file also includes the single speaker recordings. So that's why the name core. So we are testing and training and testing conditions. All the audio includes single speaker recordings. So there are not multiple speaker recordings in a single wave file. So these are the data conditions for our ICTW database, which we are used for our work. And then this is the proposed methodology. This is the proposed methodology where we have used the MFCC feature vectors from all the audio files we recorded and stored it in a offline mode. And then these stored files are used for training this UBM and UBM model. So which is a large speaker model. So in that, we train this UBM and TVM space, which are low dimensionality space, using the features which are stored offline. And here our main idea is to project our speaker utterances, which includes intra-speaker and inter-speaker variability, which are related to the noise conditions which may occur during the actual deployment of the system. So in that way, we try to decompose our input speech utterance into a space which is called low dimensional space T, which includes both the variabilities like intra-speaker and inter-speaker variability, but it is in a low dimensional space. And then from this T low dimensional space, we extract the I vectors, which are the low dimensional I vectors, which are used to represent the speaker utterances. From each of the audio recording, we get the I vectors, and all that we average to represent a single. So it acts as a reference probe for a speaker. So for each of the speaker, there will be I vector, which will be we call as the enrollment I vector. Then during the testing phase, the intra-speaker variability in the I vectors space needs to be compensated. So after extracting these I vectors, again that can contain, these are in low dimensional, but again it can include the variabilities, inter-speaker and intra-variability. So for that we have used LDA and WCCM. After that, then we get the actual score between the enroll and the test utterance, because for the test utterance also similar processing will be done and I vector will be extracted. So there will be now two I vectors, which the one which is enroll and the second which we get from the test utterance. And from these two I vectors, cosine similarity score is obtained. And after that, to make a final decision, it is compared with the threshold, and after that final decision is made about the accepting or rejecting the similarity of this particular speaker. So this is the experimental setup which we have used during our experimentation. So for getting the audio files or loading the audio files and extracting the features, we have used Librosa library, Python library. Along with that, we have used a speaker recognition toolkit known as BobSpear for implementing different stages like speaker modeling and then getting evaluation measures. All that we did using this BobSpear toolkit. And then during the enrollment conditions, when we want to register our speakers, we have used core conditions like single speaker recording, and total number of speaker files are 823, and output of this enrollment stage will be a I vector. And next is a testing phase. During a testing phase, we'll be taking a file which are there in the list files of this SITW database. For each of the combinations, keys are given, and these keys will compare to make the to measure the performance of our system. So we'll be knowing the answer that actual the speaker is authentic or not. And with our approach, we are trying to get whether the person is authentic or not. And depending on that, we'll get different scores. So the score which we get with the target speaker is called positive score, and which is from the imposter score, that is negative score. So with these two scores, we get different types of errors, that is called false acceptance and false rejections. So depending on our system, we'll be getting different pairs of FAR and FRR. So next is this is the graph which we have got as a result, which gives you the graph between for different threshold for different errors like false acceptance rates and false rejection rate, which is also called as miss probability and false alarm probability. So this is a dead curve which is called a error detection curve. So here we get the core we have used the core conditions of the SITW database. So I would like to conclude my work with this. We have evaluated our state-of-the-art I vector frameworks on the SITW database and to cope up with the real-life uncontrolled conditions in the speech utterance. So here we have used the I vector framework and using MFCC features. With that, we have got ER value of 23.16, and we can improve this by using other features or the combination with the other features. So that will be our future work. Thank you. Any questions?
No, not from my side.
Okay,
you have presented a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Along with your work.
Thank you, Asmita. Thank you for the presentation. Now, I sincerely thank all the authors for their excellent presentations and contribution for this session. All our presentations and participants for being a part of this international conference. Furthermore, all the presenters would be getting their digital certificates, payment receipts, and the thank you letter within next 2 working days. All the papers has been already forwarded to the Springer for the publication process. Normally, it will take 5 to 6 months time. So kindly cooperate meanwhile the same. If you have any query, you can feel free to write it down to the info@ictis.in. My support team will definitely acknowledge you if you have any query regarding the same. I also thank our session chair, Dr. Navneet Sharma, for chairing the session. For the token of appreciation, I would like to just show the token of appreciation to Navneet Sharma, sir. Thank you, sir, for chairing the session. I just request to all the authors to open the camera for the one good memory. If possible, you can just open your camera for next 10 seconds.
Thank you so much, Amanji, Richa ji, Amit ji, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
Most welcome, sir, anytime. Once again, thank you one and all.
Thank you. Thank you to you also, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Welcome, Asmita ji. Now I would like to invite the next presentation as scheduled, 2 p.m. So look forward to attend the same. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, ma'am.